Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Today we are painting a 5x7 card on 140-pound cold press Arches water paper that's been taped on the outside. And we are going to paint a swallowtail butterfly. So this is what I'm going for, this looseness. But here's a picture of one. And what I'm going to do first of all is just sketch it with a regular old pencil, just very quickly. I'm going to put the head right here. So that's one of the good focal points. And just, you'll see how just quickly and loosely I'm just sketching this with my good old pencil. You don't want that to go pointing straight to the corner. I need that part of the swallowtail to sort of point out, not really to the corner. This has got two wings here. This way. Comes out around this way. It has 7 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 circles are half moons. And some like light blue spots along this too. And then it has the darks up here, I've got that. And then a little bit of a flower. I'm just going to sort of suggest a flower here. I might paint it pink, even though this is an orange flower. And now here's a tip that I want all of you to hear, that because I've seen you do this a few times. When you have a stem, always make it go out the page. Draw it all the way down and out. Don't stop it like 1/4 of an inch or 2 inches. Just take it all the way out. Just like if you're doing really tall trees, they go out the page at the top. So a stem goes out the page at the bottom. So that's the first step, is that. Now what I'm going to do is just very loosely go for this feel, paint my little flower, and then we're going to go from there. So I'm going to, I have to make sure my tape's nice and down, nice and hard, so I don't want any water to go underneath that. So I'm going to wet the whole butterfly just with water. I'm kind of going around the flower. So this is just good old graphite, just a plain old pencil. That's why it didn't disappear on me. I can still see all my lines. And since I'm going to be using a little bit of black ink, those lines can show up. Okay, now I'm going to start with raw sienna. I'm just going to put it here over the wings, out into this paper. This is all wet on wet. My raw sienna has a little bit of iridescent gold paint too. Now this is a little bit of quinacridone gold that I'm just gonna, it's a little brighter than this one, but that's okay with me. And now I need to make some colors, even if they're very faint, go all the way to the edge of the paper. Because when the tape comes off, it looks funny if it's just white paper next to the tape. So this is just very soft. And I want to just take some darker paint like the Payne's Gray or Sepia. And make it, oh, you can't see my palette. There's the Payne's Gray, very, very watery, very pale. And I'm just gonna tap my brush. Not really doing what I wanted to do, but that's a big old blobs. Oh, now it's got some water. Oh, I like that. I'm just gonna flick some water on there too. Oh yeah, now that's nice and messy. I can take a paper towel and kind of blot it where I feel like it needs to be lighter. Maybe in the body, maybe up here where I blotted all those black spots. So it's just very loose. And while it's still wet, I'm going to paint in a flower. So I have to choose if I'm going to use bright orange like this marigold or something pink like this artist whose name I can't read. I think it says Dream Forever 2020. I have to go look it up. I'm going for the pink. So permanent rose. This is dry, so if I just tap it in here. Some spots where it's bleeding into the wet paper and some spots where it's got a harsh line. And I'm going to add some quinacridone gold to that. Or a hand of yellow so that this pink has some better colors in it. Now I'm going to paint the stem. I could use either just pure or just a Payne's Gray, or I can make it dark green. So dark green is my famous mixture. I love this green. I've loved it since I met Evelyn. What it is, it's burnt sienna and Antwerp blue mixed together. The burnt sienna has to be Winsor Newton burnt sienna. And you have to use Antwerp, not French. And you get this dark green. I love my pencil brush. It makes such a beautiful tip. I'm going to touch my paper towel so that I know I have a really nice little tip. I'm going to paint my stem. I'm going to go up into the flower and make some dark areas at the bottom of this flower. And then see what happens when I bring this down. If it blurs too much or if it's good. No, okay. I like that. And when that part dries, I can do a few things, little things that stick out from the flower to make it sort of look flower-like. So that is the first step that needs to dry. One thing I'm noticing in this loose one is that there's some pink speckles. So what the heck? I have some pink paint here. I'm gonna add water to it and make it very dilute, drippy, and just try to get a few little splatters down by that flower. And then there's one last thing I'm going to do before I let this all dry, which is I'm going to put in some colors in my circles. These seven orange circles here. So permanent rose and hands of yellow, medium will make orange. So while it's still slightly damp, I'm just putting those bright orange spots in. Oops, I painted my blue spots orange. Now I'm going to get some blue and just put a little blue in there and pretend I didn't do that. Because I don't think that many people are going to know what swallowtail butterflies look like exactly. So that's a loose start. So I dried this with a blow dryer. I also lifted out some of those darker gray areas. And now what I have is a rigger brush. I love this rigger brush because it was given to me by a lady in a workshop I was in. She was from the Ukraine. So I'm just going to then, so it's all loaded with Payne's Gray. If you don't have Payne's Gray, then you use either sepia or you make your own with burnt sienna and French ultramarine blue. So this is a very long, thin brush, and I'm just gonna kind of start drawing in the lines with a little bit of a steady hand and being brave. So that's a pretty nice little line to start with. Okay. And I want to sort of just get the feel of some of these lines. And I really want to get the little swallowtail parts. And I'm kind of working on his body. I'll put a big ol' eye. I'll leave a glint in the eye even. Couple of feet. They have 6 legs. And in this photo here, I can see I think kind of all 6, but I'm not going to put them all in. I like how in this loose painting, you know, then the more I look at this, the more I think that this artist was using this photograph for his work. Because even just like this leg, the bottom part is dark, and he has just one little line there to represent that whole leg. So rather than painting the whole leg, we just put a little line in. I can do the same here. and the antenna curvy and flick up. So I want it to be sort of loose and have movement. A little, I don't know what the little part at the top is called. And then this one can go like the picture, or can just have another little, I sort of got a bend in it. Oh well. And then there's a couple lines that come across the body. So rather than painting in every little line, I'm just doing the ones I want to do, or the cute ones. And then I think this all needs to be a little darker and thicker down here at this part of the wing, and sort of go around these. All of these circles that I left in half moons. I might even want like a different brush. Use my pencil brush, because I have such a good point on this. I can just sort of paint this part in. It's a little thicker lines. In the photograph there, you don't see the second swallowtail part, but I like how he's put 2 in, so I'm going to go ahead and put a second one in. So now really all I'm doing is just kind of filling in up some of this black. So I'm going to put a little bit more. I like filling in around those orange spots and the blue spots. And now I just have to decide how much more I want to put in. I do need, these dark lines are very obvious in a swallowtail, so I'm going to start here. Oh. I'm making mine more like the picture than the painting right now, because I do love this part of a swallowtail. So I'm alternating between my pencil brush and my rigger. If I need a long skinny line, I'm using the rigger. And if I'm trying to fill in an area, I'm using the pencil brush. Now I just want to put in a few last, you know what they're called, veins, black veins. Maybe I'll use the rigger for this. These are very skinny. The brush got away from me. I feel like I've lost the body a little bit. I'm going to use my black brush to get that body in a little bit. And I'm just going to take a little bit of burnt sienna, because I'm noticing in the painting that I like so much that there's just a little bit of burnt sienna down at the bottom of the body. And I think that will help make the body look like the body of the swallowtail. And I tried to lighten that. And I lighten my lines. I think I'm going to stop and take my paint off, my tape off. Oh, it's lovely. Nice. Your calligraphy is nice and loose.
Yeah, very loose.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks.
Very nice. I like your bright flower and the size of your butterfly and your antenna and all your calligraphy. So you had a rigger that you were using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice. Really nice.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so bright. It looks good. What a beautiful monarch. And good milkweed. I like the
Thanks.
pink. I like the calligraphy on it. It's loose and it's nice. I like the spots. It definitely reads monarch on milkweed. And your bright green background is really makes it cheerful.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
wow.
That's cool.
That
Very
turned
cool.
terrific. Very nice, Penny.
Wow.
Very striking.
What'd you use for the blue or the purple? What is that?
Just a pure French ultra, what is it?
Pure, huh? Wow, that's great.
Ultramarine
French.
blue.
French ultramarine blue.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The background really makes it stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Jumps right out at you. It's great.
Thank you.
Wow. Bravo. Wow.
It's, Chris is doing Glass Beach
Stunning.
and it's beautiful. You're using really the same technique with the colors and the lines, but it's the glass instead of the butterfly wings and the mountains instead of the butterfly wings, or it's beautiful.
Right.
You're gonna love
Mhm.
it.
Thing.
Nice. Another quick one. The bright flower and your delicate lines and your butterfly. Nice calligraphy. Really like it. Thank you for joining us today. Have fun with your cards of butterflies.